Maya turned away from the window and checked her uniform in the small mirror of her quarters. Her dark hair was pulled back in a regulation bun, her blue eyes serious as she prepared for her shift on the bridge. At 32, she was one of the youngest lieutenants assigned to an exploration vessel, a fact that filled her with equal parts pride and anxiety. The ship alert chimed, gently signaling 15 minutes before her duty began. She grabbed her tablet and headed for the bridge. The corridors of the Discovery were busy with crew members, some human, others belonging to the various alien species that had joined the Galactic Alliance. "Good morning, Lieutenant." A tall Araxian officer nodded as they passed. Maya smiled in response, still fascinated by the elegant blue markings that swirled across the Araxian's pale skin. The Alliance had brought together 17 different species united in their quest for peaceful exploration and scientific discovery. When Maya reached the bridge, Captain Laura Bell was already at her station reviewing reports from the night shift. Captain Bell was a legend in the fleet, having served for over 20 years on exploration vessels. Her calm demeanor and sharp intelligence had earned her the respect of everyone aboard. "Lieutenant Foster," Captain Bell acknowledged with a nod. "Take your station. We have an interesting morning ahead." Maya moved to the science console, curious about what waited for them. Today, they were scheduled to survey the third planet of the Cygnus system. Preliminary scans had detected unusual energy patterns that suggested advanced technology. The view screen showed a blue-green world with 2 small moons orbiting it. Maya began running detailed scans immediately, becoming absorbed in the stream of data. The energy signatures were unlike anything in their database, concentrated around what appeared to be a massive city near the northern hemisphere. "Captain, I think we've found something interesting," Maya reported. After analyzing the readings, these energy patterns indicate technology at least as advanced as our own, but with a completely different basis. The civilization appears to be concentrated in a single mega-city. Captain Bell moved to stand behind Maya, studying the data for herself. "Send a probe," she decided. "We need more information before we consider first contact." Maya programmed one of their atmospheric probes and launched it toward the planet. The bridge crew watched in silence as the small device entered the planet's atmosphere and began transmitting data. The images that appeared on screen showed a breathtaking city, built of what looked like crystal and light. Tall spires reached toward the sky, connected by graceful arches. The streets were filled with beings that moved with fluid grace. Their bodies were slender and tall, with luminescent skin that seemed to shimmer with an inner light. "They call themselves the Alari," the ship's translator announced, suddenly startling everyone on the bridge. "The probe is picking up broadcast signals. I've configured the translation." Matrix communications were suddenly filled with the musical language of the Alari, translated into standard by the ship's computer. The transmissions revealed a peaceful society advanced in arts and sciences. Their technology was based on crystalline structures that amplified and channeled natural energy sources. "Captain, we should establish contact," Maya suggested, excited by the prospect of meeting a new species, especially one so advanced. Captain Bell considered this carefully. First contact was always a delicate situation governed by strict protocols. After reviewing the information, she nodded. "We will send a greeting according to protocol. Maya, prepare." The standard peace message. Maya worked quickly configuring the universal greeting that had been designed by xenolinguists and diplomats. It contained basic information about the Alliance, their peaceful intentions, and an invitation for communication. The response came faster than anyone expected. A transmission from the planet's surface showed one of the Alari, their luminescent face filling the view screen. "Greetings, explorers from the stars," the alien spoke through the translator. "We have observed your vessel and welcome the opportunity for exchange. Our people have long theorized the existence of other intelligent life. We are the Alari, and we extend our hospitality to your representatives, Captain." Bell stepped forward, introducing herself and the Discovery, explaining their mission of peaceful exploration. The conversation continued for several minutes, establishing the groundwork for a formal meeting. "A delegation will be permitted to visit our city," the Alari representative said. "We will Transmit coordinates for your landing vessel. After the transmission ended, Captain Bell turned to Maya, Lieutenant Foster. You will join the first contact team. Your background in xenobiology will be valuable. Report to Shuttle Bay 3 in 1 hour. Bring your full research kit. Maya felt a surge of excitement and nervousness. This was what she had trained for, what she had dreamed of since childhood. The chance to study and interact with a completely new species. She hurried to her quarters to prepare, packing her specialized equipment and reviewing the first contact protocols. The team would consist of 5 members. Captain Bell would lead with Maya as science officer, Dr. Olivia Chen as medical officer, Lieutenant Grace Harper for security, and communications specialist Patricia Rodriguez. When Maya arrived at the shuttle bay, the others were already preparing the small craft. Dr. Chen, a serious woman in her 40s, was calibrating her medical scanner. Nervous, asked Olivia, noticing Maya's expression. A little, Maya admitted, but mostly excited. This is why I joined the fleet. Olivia nodded, understanding. The medical officer had participated in 3 previous first contact missions, though none with a species as advanced as the Ilari. Remember to follow protocols, she advised. These situations can be unpredictable no matter how friendly they seem. Captain Bell arrived last, giving final instructions to her second-in-command, who would remain with the Discovery. The 5 women boarded the shuttle, each focused on their duties as they prepared to make history. The journey to the surface took 20 minutes, giving Maya time to observe the planet more closely. The atmosphere was similar to Earth, but with higher oxygen content. The landscape below showed vast forests interrupted by the crystal city that sparkled in the light of the system's sun. They landed on a designated platform, where 3 Ilari waited to greet them. Up close, the aliens were even more striking. Their bodies stood, nearly 7 feet tall, with slender limbs and elongated features. Their skin glowed with a soft blue light that pulsed gently like a heartbeat. Welcome to Ilara. The tallest of the 3 spoke, their voice melodic even through the translator. I am Celine, Guide of External Relations. These are my associates, Lyra and Orion. We will escort you to the Hall of Gathering where our council awaits. The human delegation followed their hosts into the city. Maya could barely contain her excitement as she recorded everything with her scanner. The buildings were even more impressive up close, constructed from a crystalline material that seemed to grow rather than being built. The streets were wide and flowing, with Ilari citizens stopping to observe the strange visitors with curious eyes. This is extraordinary, Maya whispered to Patricia. The communications specialist nodded, equally amazed by what they were seeing. The Hall of Gathering was a massive dome at the city center. Inside, the ceiling appeared to be open to the sky, though Maya suspected it was an illusion created by their technology. The council consisted of 7 Ilari, seated in a semicircle, each with slightly different coloration to their luminescent skin. Captain Bell stepped forward and presented the formal greeting of the Alliance, explaining their mission and origins. The council listened attentively, asking thoughtful questions about human culture and the other species of the Alliance. We have observed many worlds from our instruments, Selene explained, but yours is the first to reach us directly. Our people have focused inward for many generations, perfecting our connection to the energy that flows through all living things. We call it the lumen. Would you be willing to share information about this energy? Maya asked, unable to contain her scientific curiosity. The council members exchanged glances before the central figure spoke. We sense an openness in your kind, especially in you. She pointed to Maya. We would be willing to demonstrate. Maya looked to Captain Bell, who nodded her approval with caution. The security officer, Lieutenant Harper, stepped closer to Maya, protective but not threatening. Celine approached Maya slowly. Please extend your hands, she requested. Maya held out her hands, palm up. Celine placed her luminescent hands above Maya's, not quite touching. A warm, tingling sensation began to flow up Maya's arms, spreading throughout her body. Her skin began to glow faintly with the same blue light as the Ilari. Maya gasped as her perception suddenly expanded. She could feel the life energy of everyone in the room, humans and Ilari alike, connected in a vast web that extended beyond the walls to encompass the entire city. She sensed the curiosity and cautious welcome of the Ilari, the concern and wonder of her teammates. Celine gently withdrew her hands, and the sensation faded, leaving Maya breathless. That was incredible, she said, her scientific mind already forming questions about the experience. This is what we call communion. Celine explained. It is the foundation of our society. The sharing of energy and consciousness. The demonstration created a breakthrough in the discussions. The council proposed a cultural exchange program, offering to share knowledge of the Lumen while learning about Alliance technology and the diverse species that formed it. As the meeting concluded, Captain Bell accepted the offer pending approval from Alliance headquarters. The delegation was invited to stay overnight as honored guests to experience more of Ilari culture. This is just the beginning, Maya thought as they were led to their accommodations. The discovery of the Ilari would open new frontiers of scientific and cultural understanding, and she would be part of it all, recording the first chapters of what promised to be a long and fascinating relationship between their peoples. The stars shone differently when viewed from the surface of this new world, Maya noted as she gazed out the crystal window of her room. Each one potentially held more discoveries, more species waiting to be found. The universe suddenly seemed both larger and smaller at the same time, vast in its possibilities, yet connected by the common threads of life and intelligence. Tomorrow would bring more discoveries, more understanding, and Maya Foster was ready for every moment of it. Here's part 2. Morning came with the soft chiming of crystal bells. Maya opened her eyes to find her room filled with gentle golden light. The accommodations the Ilari had provided were simple yet elegant. The furniture seemed to grow from the floor itself, formed from the same crystalline material as the buildings. She dressed quickly, eager to continue the cultural exchange. Captain Bell had scheduled a meeting with the entire team before their next encounter with the Ilari Council. Maya found her colleagues already gathered in a common area adjacent to their rooms. "Good morning, Lieutenant Foster, Captain." Bell nodded as Maya entered. "Dr. Chen has been analyzing the data from yesterday, particularly the energy demonstration you experienced." Olivia activated her tablet, displaying a series of readings. "Your biochemistry showed remarkable changes during the connection, Lieutenant." She pointed to several graphs. "The lumen energy, as they call it, appears to temporarily alter neural pathways, enhancing synaptic connections. I believe it's a form of telepathic exchange facilitated by their unique biology." Maya studied the readings with fascination. Could humans learn to manipulate this energy? She wondered aloud. Possibly, Captain Bell replied, but that would require extended study. The Alliance Council is intrigued by our initial report. They want us to establish formal diplomatic relations and propose a scientific exchange. A soft chime interrupted their discussion. One of the Ilari, Lyra, stood in the doorway. Her luminescence pulsed in a pattern that somehow conveyed excitement even before she spoke. "The Council awaits your presence," she announced. "And after your meeting, the Festival of Light begins. We would be honored if you would participate in our greatest celebration." The team followed Lyra through the Crystal City. Maya noticed more details in the daylight. The buildings appeared to be living structures that grew and changed subtly. The Ilari themselves moved with graceful purpose, their luminescence creating patterns that seemed to communicate information without words. The hall of gathering was filled with more Ilari than the previous day. The 7 council members occupied their central positions, but now hundreds of citizens filled the surrounding space. Their combined luminescence created a spectacular display of shifting colors and patterns. Celine greeted them formally but with warmth evident in her glowing features. "We have considered your proposal of alliance," she began. "Our council has agreed to formal diplomatic relations. We believe much can be learned through peaceful exchange, Captain." Bell stepped forward to accept on behalf of the alliance. "A historic moment for both our peoples," she said. "We look forward to many years of friendship and cooperation." The formal proceedings concluded quickly, giving way to excited murmurs among the assembled Ilari. Celine approached Maya directly. "Our scientists are particularly interested in your research, Lieutenant Foster. Would you consent to working directly with them to study the interaction between human physiology and the lumen?" Maya glanced at Captain Bell, who nodded her approval. I would be honored, Maya replied, unable to hide her enthusiasm before scientific work begins. However, there is celebration, Selene explained. The Festival of Light occurs once each cycle when our 3 moons align. It is a time of renewal and connection. We share the lumen with each other and with our world. The city was transformed as preparations for the festival accelerated. Crystal structures were arranged in complex patterns throughout the streets and plazas. Citizens adorned themselves with delicate ornaments that amplified their natural luminescence. The air filled with musical tones that seemed to emanate from the city itself. Maya and her teammates were given special garments to wear, robes made of a lightweight material that reflected and enhanced the light around them. Captain Bell maintained a diplomatic presence while the others were encouraged to explore the festivities. Maya wandered through the central plaza marveling. At the preparations, a group of young Alari were practicing what appeared to be a dance, their movements creating wave patterns of light that flowed between them. Like synchronized swimmers, Maya thought, but with light instead of water. One of the young Ilari noticed Maya watching and approached. Her luminescence pulsed in a pattern that the translator interpreted as friendly greeting. "Would you like to learn the pattern of joining?" she asked. Her name, translated as Astra, Maya hesitated, uncertain. If humans could participate in something so uniquely, Ilari, you need not generate light to join the pattern. Astra explained, "It is the movement and intention that matter." The light follows. Naturally encouraged, Maya allowed herself to be guided into the circle. The movements were fluid and graceful, challenging but not beyond human capability. As she followed Astra's lead, Maya began to sense the rhythm that connected the dancers. It wasn't just physical coordination, but something deeper, a shared awareness of each other's presence and movement. As darkness fell, the festival began in earnest. The 3 moons of Ilara rose one by one, each adding its light to the gathering. The crystal structures throughout the city magnified and redirected the moonlight, creating pathways of illumination that connected all parts of the city. The central event took place in the largest plaza, where thousands of Ilari gathered in concentric circles. The council members stood at the center. Selene gestured for the human delegation to join them in a position of honor. "What happens now?" Maya whispered to Lyra, who stood beside her. "The Great Communion." Lyra answered, "We join our light and consciousness, sharing the collected wisdom and experience of our people. It is how we maintain unity and peace." The communion began with a single note that resonated through the crystal city. The Ilari responded, their luminescence intensifying and synchronizing. Until this moment, Maya had seen their glow as beautiful, but primarily decorative. Now she understood it was fundamental to their communication and society. Captain Bell and her team watched in awe as patterns of light flowed between the Ilari, creating complex geometries that shifted and evolved. Maya felt a gentle touch on her arm. Selene stood before her. "If you wish, you may observe more closely," she offered, extending her hands as she had during their first meeting. Maya looked to Captain Bell, who gave a subtle nod of approval, with less hesitation than before. Maya reached out to accept Selene's offered connection. The sensation was stronger this time. Maya felt herself drawn into the collective consciousness of the Ilari, not as an intrusion, but as an honored guest. She perceived their history, their hopes and concerns flowing around her like currents in a vast ocean. She understood suddenly that the Ilari were far older than they appeared. Their civilization had existed for thousands of years, developing in harmony with their world rather than seeking to conquer it. Most surprising was how clearly they perceived humanity. Through Maya's connection, they had glimpsed the complexity of human society, its conflicts and compassion, its destructive capacity, and creative brilliance. The Ilari were both fascinated and concerned, seeing in humans a species of enormous potential that had not yet found its balance. When the connection faded, Maya found herself seated on the crystal ground, Captain Bell and Dr. Chen kneeling beside her with concerned expressions. "Fine," Maya assured them. That was just overwhelming. "It is rare for non-Ilari to experience such deep communion," Selene explained, offering Maya a drink of clear liquid that tasted like honey and mint. Yet you adapted remarkably, well your mind reached for understanding instead of retreating. This confirms what we sensed about your species' potential. The festival continued through the night, but at a more individual level. Small groups of Alari shared communion, while others created art or music inspired by the collective experience. Maya rejoined her teammates describing what she had learned. They don't view technology as separate from nature. Dr. Chen noted after hearing Maya's description, they see it as an extension of natural processes, and they govern by consensus. Lieutenant Harper added, not hierarchy. Their council are facilitators, not rulers. Maya nodded. Their society evolved differently than ours. They developed their interconnections before they developed advanced tools. When they finally created technology, it was already guided by a collective wisdom. As the moon set, and the first light of dawn appeared on the horizon, the festival concluded with a final musical harmony that resonated through the city. The Alari began returning to their regular activities, though many stopped to greet the human visitors with newfound familiarity. Captain Bell gathered her team as they returned to their quarters. We have much to report to Alliance headquarters, she said. This cultural exchange has provided more insight than we could have hoped for Dr. Chen and Lieutenant Foster. You will compile your scientific observations. Lieutenant Harper and Specialist Rodriguez document the social structure and communication systems. The next several days passed in a blur of activity. Maya worked closely with Alari scientists exploring the properties of the lumen energy. Through careful experiments, they discovered that humans indeed possessed the capacity to sense and eventually manipulate this energy, though not with the native ability of the Alari. Captain Bell maintained diplomatic discussions establishing the framework for ongoing relations between the Alari and the Alliance. The Discovery would depart soon, but would leave behind communications equipment and a small team of specialists to continue the exchange. On their final evening, Maya stood on a balcony overlooking the Crystal City. The beauty of it still moved her, but now she understood it was more than aesthetic. The entire city was a technology, a living system that supported and enhanced the connections between its inhabitants. Celine joined her silently, her luminescence a soft blue in the twilight. You have learned much in a short time, she observed, and there's so much more to understand, Maya replied. I hope to return. You will be welcomed. Celine assured her. The Council has approved a permanent exchange program. The Alliance will send representatives to learn our ways, and we will send observers to study. Yours, she paused, her light pulsing thoughtfully. We believe this connection between our peoples comes at an important time. The galaxy faces challenges that will require cooperation among all intelligent species. Maya thought about the glimpses of concern she had sensed during the communion. Something is coming, she said. It wasn't a question. Celine nodded. The patterns of energy throughout this sector have been changing. We have observed disturbances in the lumen that suggest conflict. Your Alliance may face threats sooner than you realize. Maya felt a chill despite the warm evening air. We should warn Captain Bell, Celine agreed. We will share our observations at tomorrow's final council meeting. For tonight, let us appreciate the peace we have established between our peoples. As they looked out over the glittering city, Maya realized that this first contact had altered the course of human history in ways that would unfold for generations to come. The Alari offered not just new technology, but a different way of seeing the universe, one based on connection rather than conquest. Whatever challenges lay ahead, Maya knew that humanity had found a valuable ally, and she had found her purpose as a bridge between two extraordinary civilizations. Here's Part 3. 6 months had passed since the Discovery first made contact with the Alari. Maya Foster now held the rank of commander, heading the permanent research station established in the Crystal City. Her promotion had come swiftly after the importance of the Alari Alliance became clear to Alliance leadership. The warning Celine had provided proved accurate. Within weeks of the Discovery's return to Alliance space, reports began coming in of strange attacks on outer colony worlds. Settlements were found abandoned, technology disabled but with no signs of violence. The only clues were unusual energy signatures that disrupted electronic systems. Maya stood in the laboratory she shared with 3 Alari scientists. The room hummed with activity as they continued their study of the lumen energy and its potential applications for defense. The Alliance needed new protection systems, ones that could withstand whatever technology was being used in these mysterious attacks. Lyra, the most senior of the Alari researchers, approached Maya with a crystal tablet. The latest readings from the outer sector show increased disruption patterns, she reported. The unknown. Entities are moving closer to Alliance space. Maya studied the data with concern. We need to accelerate our work on the shield prototypes. She decided, have you had any success with the integration of lumen technology into our standard defense systems? Lyra gestured to a small device on the central table. We believe this prototype can generate a field that will resist the disruption effect, but the power requirements are substantial. A ship the size of your Discovery would need multiple generators. It's progress, Maya acknowledged. The question is whether we can produce enough units quickly enough. She activated her communication device. Captain Bell, I have an update on the defense project. Laura Bell's face appeared on the screen. Her expression was serious as always, but Maya could see the fatigue in her eyes. The captain had been coordinating defense preparations across 3 sectors of Alliance space. Send me the specifications, Bell requested. He'll forward them to Alliance Command. The engineering teams on Arcturus Station are standing by to begin production. Maya transmitted the data, then turned back to her Alari colleagues. We should test the prototype at larger scale. She suggested, before they could proceed. An alert sounded throughout the research station. Maya recognized the signal immediately, a priority communication from Alliance headquarters. She hurried to the communication center, where Patricia Rodriguez, now a full lieutenant, was coordinating all transmissions between Alara and the Alliance. What's happening? Maya asked as she entered. Patricia looked up, her expression grim. 3 more colonies have gone silent in the Proxima sector. This time, there was a partial transmission before communications were lost. She activated the main screen. The recording showed a human colony administrator, his image distorted by interference. They came out of nowhere. He reported, his voice breaking up. Energy weapons disabled everything. Then they just appeared inside our shields. They don't look. Her eyes widened as she stared at something off camera. The transmission ended abruptly. Maya felt a cold dread settle in her stomach. They don't look what she wondered aloud. Human Ilari. Something else entirely. The Proxima sector is only 2 systems away from here. Patricia noted Alliance Command is dispatching a battle group, but they're 3 days out at maximum speed. Maya made a quick decision. Contact the Alari Council. We need to brief them immediately. The council convened. Within the hour, Maya presented the latest information, including the partial transmission. The 7 Alari leaders listened in silence, their luminescence pulsing in patterns that conveyed their concern. This confirms our fears, Selene said when Maya finished. The disruption patterns in the lumen have been growing stronger. We believe these entities exist partially outside normal space. They can move between dimensions, which explains how they bypass standard defenses. Can they be stopped? Maya asked. Selene exchanged glances with the other council members. The ancients' records speak of a similar threat. Thousands of years ago, she said, they created a technology that could force these entities to remain in a single dimension, making them vulnerable to conventional weapons. Do these records explain how this technology worked? Maya asked, hope rising. The details have been lost to time, but the principles remain. Selene gestured, and a holographic diagram appeared above the council table. It is a network of resonance generators that create a field stabilizing dimensional barriers. This looks similar to the shield prototype we've been developing. Maya noted, studying the diagram. Yes, Lyra confirmed. Our research has been guided by fragments of this ancient knowledge. We believe your Alliance technology, combined with our understanding of dimensional energy, could create an effective defense. Maya felt a surge of determination. We need to accelerate production of the generators, she said, and we need to deploy them strategically to protect key systems. The Alari Council agreed to commit all available resources to the project. Within days, the Crystal City had been transformed into a manufacturing center. Alari artisans worked alongside, Alliance engineers adapting the ancient designs to modern technology. Maya divided her time between the laboratory and the communications center, coordinating with Alliance vessels as they established a defensive perimeter around Ilara and nearby. Systems Captain Bell had been assigned to lead the defense fleet, her experience with both Alliance tactics and Alari technology making her the obvious choice. 2 weeks into the preparations, Maya was awakened in the middle of the night by an urgent. Alert sensors had detected multiple anomalies approaching the Alaran system. The unknown entities had arrived sooner than expected. Maya rushed to the command center to find Patricia already coordinating communications with the defense fleet. The main display showed the positions of Alliance ships forming a protective screen around the planet. Captain Bell appeared on the communication screen. The energy signatures matched those from the attacked colonies, she reported. We're tracking 27 anomalies approaching from multiple vectors. How long until they reach weapons range, Maya asked. Approximately 40 minutes, Bell answered. We've deployed the dimensional stabilizers as instructed, but we won't know if they're effective until the entities are within range. Maya turned to Celine, who had joined them in the command center. Is there anything else we can do to prepare? Celine nodded. We can activate the planetary defense grid. It was designed to harness the lumen to protect our world, but it has never been tested against this type of threat. Do it. Maya decided. Selena placed her hands on a crystal console, her luminescence intensifying as she connected with the planet's defense systems. Throughout the city and beyond, crystal spires began to glow with increasing brightness, forming a network of light that spread across the planet's surface. On the tactical display, the unknown entities continued their approach, appearing as distortions rather than solid objects. The Alliance vessels held position weapons armed and dimensional stabilizers activated. They're within range. Captain Bell announced, activating stabilizers. Now the effect was immediate. The distortions in space solidified, revealing vessels of unlike anything Maya had seen before. They seemed to be composed of overlapping geometric shapes that shifted and changed constantly, as if struggling to maintain cohesion in normal space. Our weapons can target them now, Bell reported. The stabilizers are working. The battle began with Alliance ships firing precision energy weapons at the now vulnerable alien vessels. Several of the strange craft were disabled immediately, but the others adapted quickly, changing their configuration to present smaller targets. Return fire from the alien vessels caused serious damage to 2 Alliance cruisers. The weapons fired what appeared to be spheres of compressed energy that disrupted systems on contact, on screen. Maya watched in horror as one of the Alliance ships lost power, drifting helplessly, as 3 alien vessels surrounded it. A rescue attempt by a nearby destroyer was repelled by concentrated fire. We can't match them ship to ship, Patricia reported grimly. They're adapting too quickly. Maya turned to Celine. The planetary defense grid, can it be used offensively? It was designed as a protective measure. Celine answered, but theoretically the energy could be focused outward. We would need to reconfigure the main control node. Show me, Maya said. Celine led Maya to a chamber beneath the council hall where a massive crystal structure pulsed with bright blue energy. This is the heart of our defense system, she explained. It channels the lumen from the planet core through the network of spires. Maya studied the controls, comparing them to the specifications of the dimensional stabilizers. We need to synchronize the pulse frequency with our stabilizers, she realized. Then amplify the output. The two worked quickly, reconfiguring the ancient system while reports from the battle continued to arrive. The Alliance fleet was holding position, but taking heavy losses. The alien vessels had begun to penetrate. The defensive screen, several heading directly for the planet. Maya finished the final adjustments. Ready? She said. Celine placed her hands on the crystal, her consciousness linking with the planetary network. The chamber filled with blinding light as energy surged through the system. The crystal spires across the planet pulsed in unison, sending a wave of concentrated lumen energy outward. On the tactical display, Maya watched as the wave expanded from the planet, engulfing first the nearest alien vessels, then spreading to encompass the entire battlefield. The effect was dramatic. The alien ships appeared to freeze in space, their shifting geometries locking into single configurations. Now Captain Maya transmitted, "They're vulnerable." The Alliance fleet responded immediately. Concentrating fire on the immobilized targets, one by one the alien vessels were destroyed. Unable to shift between dimensions, they could no longer evade the concentrated attacks. The battle was over in minutes. The few surviving alien craft retreated, disappearing into dimensional rifts before the stabilizing field could reach them. Maya returned to the command center where Patricia was coordinating damage reports. Casualties had been significant: 7 Alliance vessels destroyed and 5 more severely damaged, but the majority of the fleet remained operational. The planet itself was unharmed. Captain Bell appeared on screen, her uniform torn and a cut visible on her forehead. "It worked, Commander," she said, with grim satisfaction. "The stabilizers combined with the planetary defense system gave us the advantage. We need to implement this technology across Alliance space as quickly as possible." Maya nodded in agreement. "We need to understand more about these entities, where they come from, what they want." This was just the first encounter. "I'm certain they will return with adaptations in the days that followed." Maya worked with the Ilari scientists to analyze the debris from the destroyed alien vessels. The technology was unlike anything seen before. Components that seemed to exist simultaneously in multiple states of matter. Energy signatures that defied conventional analysis. Alliance reinforcements arrived, bringing additional researchers and engineers. The defensive technology was refined, and production accelerated. After 2 weeks enough, dimensional stabilizers had been manufactured to protect the major Alliance worlds. Maya stood with Celine on a balcony overlooking the Crystal City, watching as Alliance transports departed, carrying the precious technology to distant worlds. The once peaceful research mission had transformed into a wartime operation, but the partnership between humans and Ilari had only grown stronger. "Do you think we're ready for what comes next?" Maya asked. Celine considered the question, her luminescence pulsing thoughtfully. "The ancient records suggest these entities will return in greater numbers. They are persistent, adaptable. They see our dimension as territory to be claimed, but now we have a defense," Maya pointed out. "And we're learning more about their technology every day." "True," Celine agreed. "But this is just the beginning of a long struggle. The Alliance must unite all its member species, human, Araxian, Vexari, and others. Only together can we hope to preserve our worlds." Maya thought about how much had changed in the months since she first set foot on this alien world. She had come seeking knowledge and discovery. Instead, she found herself at the center of an interstellar conflict. But she had also found purpose, forging a connection between species that might save them all.